Good morning, everybody, and I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. It's been lush up there. Gotta say, it's been absolutely gorgeous. I'm Vex and Primaris. Welcome to my channel today. I don't know if the lighting might be a bit weird. Could be. Let me knock the main light on. Let me knock the main light on a second. So we can balance it. That's a little bit better. It's because I've got the side lamp on. So let me see if I can just adjust that. Knock that down, see if that might. It's a little bit better. And, oh! Hello, Kyoto Kitsu. Thank you for the follow. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, I'm advertising the wrong thing, but I just remember my stream's saying the wrong thing. Let me get that sorted out. Now, let me fix this, guys. Do apologise. Whoop. Right there. Oh, there we go. One from Norway again. Yeah, that's more like it. No. Let's update that. Yeah, job done with that, but there. So I do apologise, guys, about that. I'm saying the wrong thing on my stream at the moment, so now that should be saying the right thing. So yeah, good morning, welcome. Thank you, Kyoto Kitsu, for the follow. Also hope you enjoy my channel today. I'm doing something slightly different to what I normally do, and that is I'm going to be doing some model making. One of my hobbies is miniature model making. As you can see on the wall behind me, here is some of the models I've done. I've got quite a few actually that I have made up, or I have done over the years, but they are in storage. Just quickly get this set up. Because I've lost my other laptop, which I haven't lost it. It's in repairs at the moment, so I'm waiting for that to actually be given. Well, waiting for it to be given back to me, because I normally run two laptops with it on everything else I'm doing. But but meantime, I'm actually out of a laptop. So I'm actually going to be running things through my tablet. My streams from my laptop, the rest I'll be through my tablet. Almost got it there. So yeah, so I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. It's been absolutely lovely out there. It's been really nice out there. I went out and did a bit of shopping yesterday down Cardiff, and also it was a nice break, a nice change from how my weekends normally are. It was manic down there. I do mean packed. Where I went to so I went to a shop down there which does all gaming materials, where between our D&D stuff, between Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer, Pathfinder. So if any sort of tabletop gaming or board game you're interested in, chances are they probably got it in stock, or they've encountered it before. Because I picked up my Fallout models from there, but they got loads and loads there. So I went on yesterday. The plan for me was to pick up some D&D stuff. I had to go pick up some D&D stuff, See if I get some, see if anything in there for what in the Warhammer 40k universe that took my fancy. I will gonna see if I pick up another D&D resource book, but also but I didn't in the end. And but just really see what I found on there took my fancy. Did actually pick up a couple of new characters for when I put for my D&D game, character models. I picked up a Warforge and also a Dragonborn Paladin. Because my characters I've currently got that I've got made up. I've got a dragon. I got a Dragonborn Paladin. So I picked it with a model blister pack of that, and I've also got a Warforge as well, already built up. So I picked up them yesterday, guys. Yesterday, just so if I do actually start using those characters, I've got them there. And I also bought myself another load. Oh, battery's got that. No. Okay, also I'm charging up a battery for my secondary camera because I'm running that. I'm going to be running most of the stream through the secondary camera, which is my Canon camera, Canon DSLR camera. I then also bought a pile of the Final Fantasy trading cards. Bought myself a bunch of blister packs from the Opus, I think it's 10, 11, 12 series. Oh. Yeah, so what's the story anyway? So I've got a nice mixture. So also again I wouldn't mind actually trying to stream with that actually, so we can get something set up. So there's two of us playing it. I can play side by side. That'd be something interesting. That'd be something new to do one day. So I just have to wait and see really, and see what we do with it. Let me get something up and running on you. I don't know how that is playing in the background there. So I'll just check a little bit of music on for what I'm going to do the work. So let me just jump over to the new channel I've just put together first. Would help if I did put a mic on you, wouldn't it? And I need the EOS camera. Turn that back on. Ah, we are. And there we go, guys. We've now currently got our EOS camera caught up in place. So today we're going to be doing a miniature model. I'm going to be doing a miniature. I'm going to be doing these bad boys, the Warhammer Primaris synthesizer. Let me adjust that one. That's a little bit better. Yeah, well, it's wonderful having a digital camera because I can use. I can use a mix of different lenses with it. I wouldn't be able to use that one because that one's my 70 to 300mm. It'd be no good for what I'm doing in here at the moment. It would be for a little bit further away. Same as that one would be, is it 80 to 200? That's going to be no good. I have got a macro one here. Where's my macro? It's a good question. 55 to 250 be no good. Now the macro would be no good because there's 100 mil to start off with. I don't know. It might actually be. Because I can go in as far as, well, it starts off with 7 meters, but then I can actually get to go in for the bottom one's feet at a magnification of a 1.41, which is going to be extremely close, guys. And I do mean extremely close then. Which is that down there, which is great. It's great for really close up work, but I'm gonna need to experiment a little bit more there. So anyway, let's get us back to what we're gonna be working with. So this is the kit we're gonna be working with. But before we look into there, what do you need? You need some tools for the job. So we need some plastic glue. Pair clippers. Need to replace them in there. A hobby knife. Careful, guys, if you're going to use a hobby knife, I don't recommend actually allowing young children using it without adult supervision. That's going to be one of my little tips there. Make sure you've got adult supervision when you do that, guys, especially with young children using it. A mold line remover. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry so much with a P, because I'm looking to doing the paint. Hopefully, doing the painting part tonight. That's the plan. The plan is to do a bit of the painting part tonight. So for this first session, it's going to be the assembly part. Some more tools as well for the job. So let's say we got our clippers. Good, yeah. What's it? Cheers, Kyoto Kitsu. I also get that swapped over now. So mold line remover. Our clippers, our hobby knife, our plastic glue, and of course 2 files as well we're going to need. You can of course put other bits of bobs if you need them, if you needed to use a drill. You've also got that option there, but I don't think I'm going to need the drill. I'm just trying to see if anything else I need in there. Some more other plastic glue as well. You can also use a thicker plastic glue. I'm only using the thin stuff. And if you wanted to really push the boat a little bit more, something which I haven't actually tried yet is using magnets. I haven't tried that one yet. Let me see if I'm updating that one. Fail makers and crafting. That's a bit better. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Kyoto. So those what's currently on the table is probably the main tools I will be using. Turn that down a little bit. They'd be the main tools that I will be using during this part of the stream. And of course, something that any model maker should not be without. And get a piece to come off properly. So especially if this actually is your best friend all the way throughout the entire model making process. too much of a big piece there, but I can actually cut it down. Piece of kitchen roll. It's a bonus to have a piece of kitchen roll to hand. So I'm going to fold that up ready, because I can use that to dry off any glue that I'm not going to be using. It also comes in handy to control your paint, and well, as I tend to use it for quite a bit, for dry brushing, which we will look at when we get to it. So I'll pull up a second of my plastic glue, because I recently bought some new plastic glue to update what I was using. Not update, because what's over starting to run low. I think I'm supposed to have another. I think I got another bottle here somewhere. But I'm not sure what I've done with it. There are a couple of other pieces of tools you can use, such as a pair of tweezers, which I have got here, and also a modelling saw as well. But I don't think I'm going to need them. So here's our kit where we're going to be using. Get this sit right on the screen. So let's unbox it and see what we got in here. Now again, the box does show you options. It also gives you suggested colours. They used to put on the box on the back. Usually, used to be the colour scheme. So if you wanted to paint these in the colours they are on here, the box art is showing the Space 40k, the Warhammer 40k ultramarine colour scheme. The boys in blue. I don't mind the ultramarine colour scheme, but it's not an army colour scheme I collect. When you actually paint, it's up to you what colour you want to paint. When you start collecting, based on what army you're collecting, you may for the Space Marines, you've got several pre-schemed chapters. The blue by you is for the Ultramarines, blue with the gold trim, and with the gold Aquila on the front. It's our wonderful boys in blue, the Ultramarines. You can have a dark green, which is then the Dark Angels. They got some alterations to it, and they do have their own unique set. You'll be collecting Space Wolves, which you can still use these, but of course will have a much more of a Viking type feel to it. Within the Space Marine chapter, I could paint these in yellow, and I can call it the Imperial Fist. There's loads out there, or you can make up your own colour scheme. You could then say they derive from an original chapter, which is entirely up to you. Colour scheme I'll be going for these with, and mine do get confused with this chapter whenever I've actually played, is I go for a red and gold coloured theme. But I made my own chapter, which is the Iron Fist chapter. The colour scheme is based on Iron Man of red and gold, but I do actually deviate slightly within those units by adding all differentiations to colours. My heavy unit, I got some of my tactical marines which have got heavy weapons. I got an heavy weapons tactical unit there, which have red armour, but then all the weapon backpacks they've got there are coloured in blue. My pilots all have a green helmet, whether they're flying one of the aerial units, or even driving a tank as well, because they're showing the same part of the same army, but they're slightly different. So I've made that more unique for myself. Something else I do slightly different with mine is the Aquilas on the chest there. Well, so these symbols appear on the chest. I also paint mine in white, but then I use a blue glaze over the top, because the white cat changes colour with the blue glaze. Still has that white backing, but has a bit of a blue glow to it. So then it looks like they've got a bit of the arc-like reactor on their chests. One person I played against one of the last games I've actually played, it's been a good few years since I've last played. Because he was collecting Ultramarines. He was the store manager of one of the stores up near me. He collects Ultramarines. Before we had the new Primus, let me see if these are the new Primus ones. Before they started to introduce the Primus Marines, or the Primus collection, we had the Vanguard and Sternguard. The Vanguard. He was well, so he actually put together a bunch of Vanguard, and he was going to put some capes on the back of them, and paint the bottoms of their soles in red, so they could all be Superman. Again, it's great with these sort of kits because you can customize how you want. I've actually seen somebody take orcs and paint them in pink. I've seen some of these, well, not these ones, but the Primus Intercept, Primus Marines, actually in a variety of colours. Because besides doing this myself, I also ran a model painting club for my local scout group. Well, so we've got a bunch of model painting kits there. That because Games Workshop is sponsoring the Model Makers Badge. When I did it years ago with the troop I had at the time, they had a choice between having a dwarf or a Chaos Warrior. Most of them had dwarfs, and then I went for the techniques of painting. They could choose whatever colour scheme they wanted, and then I took them down to the local store, the nearest one to me, and I had the store manager judge them to decide which one, put them in all, vacuum in all, which is the best, and which, well, not the best, not the worst, but what's about the top 3 out of the, I think it was 18 that took part. And then but then he also donated a couple of prizes as well to me. So they all had something, but then the top 3 had something else on top of that, which worked out quite great. Last time I ran one of these sessions, I had a choice between doing a I haven't got one to hand, have I? No. Well, so between doing a Primus Marine or a Stormcast Eternal. Would have been something. Would have been something like one of these. So like this one, but it's not fully complete. Let me adjust that slightly. So they would have painted something like this one, but the colour scheme would have been in the gold, in the gold as they got in the tutorial guide. Now, so let's get rid of the box. Again, if you start out doing things like this, guys, use the box art for a bit of a reference. But don't fall into the mistake like my ex did, where she wanted to get hers to look exactly like they did on the box. Because what you got to remember, guys, when you start model making, you start model painting yourselves, you do you. You paint how you paint. Everyone you've got a different unit style and different levels for painting. It's taken me good few years to get to where I am. But what's we're starting out, you'll be painting somewhat slightly different. So in our box, we've got a couple of spruces. That's a bit better. So we got a couple of the spruces, and I'm gonna play a bit with the focus, guys. And of course there's lots of different combinations on you as well, so we can, some kits you have exactly what's supposed to be there, others like this but give you more pieces so you can have a bit of a play about with. We've also got a pack for their bases. Because these guys actually fly, or actually hover, we've also got some clear plastic stems as well, so we can actually create the illusion that they are flying. And of course, nothing would be fully without the manual. And again, it's worth, guys, reading through this. I forgot about that. We also get a Ultramarine transfer kit. So if we're doing the Ultramarines, then it already comes with everything we need for the transfers. I'm not really a great. I try and do transfers, but I'm not really. That always seems to be the last thing I tend to do when I do model making. But again, I can't. I need to get a printer, another printer of my own, some transfer sheets because I've got a couple of big Imperial Knights there. One of my smaller ones that I need to do some transfers for, but I need to have something that's more unique for them. So yeah. So for example, so that's one of my Imperial Knights. But I need transfers for there, and rest, and of course the rest of the body, just to make it more unique. For a Tiny trying to get herself in. If she wants to come in, she can. Whoop, whoop. I've lost the glue. I've lost the glue. Okay. So yeah, so the instructions, it's worth reading them because they'll go through step by step. As you can see, we've got two options. But yeah, well, so this tells you what you get in your kit. Two options by year really of what we can do. We've got a choice of two styles we can make with this model, with these models. With most kits, you usually get a book. You usually buy a book or an electronic version called a codex. So if you are collecting an army, then they'll tell you the combinations you can work with. Like my Thousand Suns, for example, a Chaos Space Marine chapter, I can actually deviate slightly. Hi Cody, how are you today? I can deviate with the one set of models I use there and have a mix between the two different types of Zanga that's in there. They call them enlightened. So I can have them with melee weapons or with bows and arrows. But if I were using them in a different setting, in the fantasy setting of the Age of Sigmar, then they ought to be exactly the same. And it's the same with these guys. I can't, for example, have two of the Hellblasters or two with the plasma weapons and one with the heavy assault rifle, heavy bolters. They've got to be either all three of the one or three of the other. Yeah, I'm not too bad myself. Also doing a slightly different stream today, as you can see. We're doing a bit of model making today. I'm going to do some model making assembly this morning, and then I'm going to be looking at doing some painting this afternoon, this evening I should say. But as I've advertised, I'm going to be painting it how I paint it. Using the same techniques that have been shown by Games Workshop, but also I've developed my own style as well. So the instructions, they then give you step by step on your approach from start to finish. It's up to you. In most cases, you can jump in and out where you need to, but it's always good to actually follow them from start to finish. Again, have an idea what sort of model set you want to make, really, especially when you've got two options available. Because I've got a set here which I can actually alter. So I've got a set here from the Age of Sigmar, for example. But I got a choice really whether I do the bow and arrow or I actually do a heavy crossbow. But I got to make sure all five are doing exactly the same. But then of course there are some alterations within the rules on that one where I can have 1 in 5 use a different type of arrow. They use a special type of arrow rather than having all 5 of a basic, but same as the crossbow, and then you get different profiles with it. Strange. That's strange, because the notification should have gone out earlier. It's a bit strange why that didn't go out. So yeah, we look through it. We look through all the parts. Everything we need is labelled. Like down by here, we've got after we've made the leg, So the leg we got E3, which we got, yeah, 3, number 5 and number 4 go on the one side, and that creates then one of the legs. No, that should create both legs then. I guess it's part 3, number 3 and number 4, and then the piece that then you got in number 5, I guess, and clip on both sides. Then set, no. Leg number 3, 5 and 4 make one leg. 6, 8 and 7 make another leg. So let's look through these, and because each of these are actually labelled with, I don't know if you can see them very well, with numbers, which do actually help. Again, you can make both of these sets if you wanted to, and this is where then our magnets come into play. I gotta see if I got any super glue here. I don't think I have, because if I do if I use magnets, I'm gonna have to use super glue so I can swap and change. I can actually then build both sets and just change based on what I'm actually playing. As you see, the instructions by here, they go through everything in terms of assembly between both types, and even show you how they should fit. So if you're making this one by here, then the back part fits in the back, but there the shoulder guards go on, and so on. Again, you've got choices of what types of helmets you want to put onto them. And you work your way through this piece by piece, or page by page, till we get to the end, and then they're on about basing. I would probably hold off with this part, guys, until the rest of this is done, because I'd probably say you can stick them to them now once you're happy with them. But when you paint, then you've got to be extra careful as you don't actually paint the clear plastic on them, because that's what they are. It's clear plastic. I wouldn't recommend using super glue as well, because the super glue will actually cause some cloudiness to appear on the plastic. And as I said before, they got the options really in terms of how you want to actually do these. I've got one set there where I've actually used pins, put holes in the feet of those types of models, and then bent the pins in different ways so they actually look like they've already in flight. I've got one which then has the guy shooting forward, but that's when you actually get to it. Like this one also gives you some options per year for purity sales, which is 74 up to 77 per there. So these can be actually attached to the models. If you don't want them on there, leave them as a clean model, you can, but you can attach them on there just to add a little bit more detail into it. If I had my box of scraps, I'd probably stick a few newer pieces on there just to actually customize them a bit more. Because even though you're actually making what's shown on here, with these kits, pieces that go left over can be mixed and matched. So if I really wanted to make this a little bit more unique, I could probably put a combat dagger on him. Or so if I actually got a sword with a sword, I could probably attach that someplace. So they become, it's taken from what we've got there. Yeah, they can't use them they wouldn't be able to use in combat because of the profile, but it makes your models a lot more unique. I've actually done that with a few of my models where we have actually got a few kit bashed models which stand out a lot more. So on the battlefield, they might look like, let's see if I find one of them. They may look like, for example, whatever else has on the field, different colour scheme, but the model itself has a much more of a unique standpoint look to it. So I can find a picture of them. Oh, I got loads and loads of models I've actually I've assembled. Right, where's my chapter master? I'll give for example. So for example, I don't know. So I saw that, but there's Captain Hammerfall. It's part of a tactical Marine squad set. But I've actually taken the armors from a different set just to make it. It's my chapter master. For example, I know the camera's catching up some glare off of the screen, but that is actually a Dark Angels Terminator. That arm was on that side originally, but I've swapped them over, and there's a few components taken from other models on there as well. Yeah, there's another one. This is a captain. Taking a Space Marine captain. I've taken the arms from a Grey Knight, so those arms are from a Grey Knight, same as that sword blade to make a relic blade, just to customise and tweak it a little bit more. So on the battlefield, I could take him as a chapter master or as a captain, and he actually stands out compared to if I face him up against another Space Marine chapter. He'll stand out a lot more, makes him more unique. And when you get into it, you can do these sort of things just to make him make your army, besides the painting and the colours, you can do other things just to make everything more your own. So it's up to you really how you actually do it, and you develop your, like I say, you develop your painting skills. You develop over time. I look back at one of my earlier models, one of my scouts, and at the time I thought, oh, it's fantastic, it's brilliant how I made it paint there, and then I look at it now and I'm thinking. I pulled it out back a good few years ago when I was doing another scout set, and I went, what a load of crap, because my painting had developed that much, it looks completely different. So we've now got to make, we've got step 1A, and I got to do this 3 times over. So I'm going to make 3 backpacks 3 times over. The only thing I'm missing is a cut. No, am I? Yeah. The only thing I haven't got over here with me is a cutting board. But this is where something I guess comes in handy. For which one? Which one's showing the 720? It's probably the max, probably the major setting my DLSR camera is allowing me to do. Here's some of my painting boards in the past. This one's been used for my dry brushing. This has been used for my painting, so I'll be using this one as a cutting board for the time being if I need it. So let's find the sets I need. '61 and '62. Yeah. Pop them in one second there. 62's for there. So I'm gonna actually. With these clippers, guys, I don't put them, but they wanna keep your fingers away. So make sure you keep your fingers away from these because these will cut into you. I'm gonna cut into there. I'm gonna clip around it slightly so I can actually cut it into there, be easier. So I can actually take them off the board a lot easier. Yeah, that's one set. That is 62 taken away, and I'm looking for 61. And the 61's over there. Just gonna remember that piece there is number 38. Yeah, so we're gonna need that. We're gonna need those ones. Yeah, I must say, so maybe the camera, the DSLR camera settings, maybe able to alter. Also to change it into the 1080. But I think because of the age of the camera, I think that might be the capacity for it. I don't know if you guys can hear the music in the background because I've got that playing down low, so I got some music playing while I'm doing this. All right, good. Right, so then let us begin unclipping. Now, when we start unclipping, like I said, you need to be careful that you don't actually damage. You don't want to damage what you're working with. And that's the only thing we use in the movie mode is you've got to manually adjust the focus. It doesn't do it automatically. Well, so but the other, because the lens I'm using, it is my wide angle 10 to 18mm lens, so it's got automatic stability in there, so that works a little bit better. When you start clipping these, you want to be careful you don't actually damage the model itself or the piece you're working with. So you can either clip away further away or get in close. A decent clipper like this, one of these, works wonders because you can actually get in a lot closer with the clip. And you want to go for the very thinnest point on the actual thing you clip in. There you go, and that will then actually release the piece you're going to work with. We've got to do a little bit more work with it. Well, so that's how we get there. Unfortunately, the tools do not come with the models. The tools are separate. Well, so you can find other clippers from other places. Like I got these ones are Citadel tools. Well, so they are, and again, Citadel do like to charge a little bit more. Well, a little bit more for their tools. But you could probably find cheaper alternatives or a cheaper option online. If you wanted the Citadel's tools a little bit cheaper price, I'd probably look on Amazon, eBay, or even look at Firestorm itself, Firestorm Games. Because Firestorm Games actually sell theirs a lot cheap. Can actually sell a lot cheaper than the actual Games Workshop store because they buy them in bulk and they're usually about 10 or 20% cheaper. So that would be your best option for if you wanted the Citadel ones. Now I've had my ones for a good few years. You just need to keep an eye out because Games Workshop are quite. Just a mess you pick one up. Yeah, go for it. You can actually buy a starter set, which usually does come with a clipper, a paintbrush, it's about that much of the mold line remover, or it's just the blade part itself. Well, so and usually a couple of Space Marines and some paints. They do a few different starter sets as well, so you've got a good options for there with it. Plastic kits are easier to work with than resin kits because the resin kits can require some preparation work before you start using them or before you even start to assemble, and they do require the use of super glue, which can become quite a little bit of a pain, especially when you're trying to assemble and you're sticking yourself to it, or the piece are not the glue's not sticking very well. What I tend to do with that, yeah, I should have another super glue here somewhere. I'll have to check that box. I think it might be in that big box there. What you with some resin models, like some of my Blood Bowl models there, I've had to underpin them by actually then drilling an hole into them and putting a pin inside of it. Now, an option that works for there is furniture tacks. The brass tacks for that they use to repair furniture. You can actually, these will cut through the metal. They will cut through the metal, but I'm actually quite lucky because I got an older set of clippers. Because if I show you, really, if you're not careful with them, look at the blades on there. The blade itself is nicked, and that's where the metal, where they have cut through metal, and they've actually damaged them. Where are they? But I have got an older style of model clippers here from Citadel, which again, as you can see, are different to these ones. These ones actually give you a much closer cut compared to these ones because of the blade length and how thin the blade is. But these ones are a lot more tougher. These will actually cut through, this one more so than this one. These will cut through the security tags you find on clothes, but they work far better because they're a lot stronger. And but I'm actually saying that because I've not pinched clothes from stores, and I've taken them off there. But where I used to work, I used to be the loss prevention champion. They call them loss prevention advisors. And my store manager at the time, they found a bunch of tags that had been clipped together, but actually been cut through. And she couldn't understand how. And it's because one of the shops on site were selling craft clippers like this. And so I said they could easily be done by using one of these, and the tools are on site. So I brought mine in. I took a couple of our damaged clothes, because we had a bunch of damaged products there, and I did clip through using them. Using these. The show easy done. The clothes do get damaged with holes in them, but these will do the job. But I rarely use these ones. I do use them, but not as often. So I pop them to the one side because they're great again for cutting through wires and so on. Right, so we've got our part 1A. Just go and clip some more pieces from the insides of these. And then we'll actually be laughing about you for the next part. Now, preparation time for these guys, it varies between the type of models you're working with. Now, I've some model assemblies I can find absolutely boring, others I find really interesting, especially when they get to be a bit creative. But it's usually down to how you feel, what you feel comfortable with, or how much time you want to invest into it. Well, but once you've actually unclipped the parts you work with, that's why I find it's easy to do section by section rather than try and take it all in one go, or unclip all the pieces in one go, because you've got to do some cleaning work with them. Now, there are things called mold lines, which appear when these are being made. The outer frame, the casing that's going to be used to create the shapes for all these by you are two trays that are pushed together, where then the liquid plastic is poured into it. And when I get to a leg, I'll be able to show you it. but you can actually see where the both have actually assembled together. I see. How are you today? I thought Tiny was coming in then. So of course this is where our mold line remover or a hobby knife also comes in handy. It's the same for where I've actually clipped these, because I don't know if you guys can see it on there very well. Might not be able to because of the camera, but where we've clipped them, you've actually got a bit of rough areas from where we've actually got the cuts in them. So this is where our mold line remover would come in handy, and our files. You just gently scrape them, and it'll actually remove it. The other thing you can actually do, well yeah, with how the weather is at the moment, that's the best thing. Do it with a knife as well. Just be careful. I'm not using it for cutting.